Hello and welcome back to GuildTV election coverage. I'm Louise Smallbone and I will be interviewing all of the winners of the Guild of Students 2021 to 2022 elections. And I am joined by Danielle Murinas, the newly elected Postgraduate Officer. So a big congratulations is in order. How are you feeling about the result?
I'm feeling extremely happy. I think the students have elected an amazing officer team, and I think a lot of policies actually overlap between officers, which I think is really, really important. I think we can work together to make some real change for members of the Birmingham student community. But I'm feeling very happy to be elected and be a part of that.
Oh, fabulous. And yes, as you said, like one of the things that loads of the manifestos mentioned was the improvement of mental health services for students. And in what kind of ways are you going to help achieve better standards of mental health support for postgraduates?
Yeah, I think mental health is something that is extremely important to me from personal experience. And I think the pandemic has really shown the stress and the strain that mental health has on the university in terms of the support they offer. And I think particularly for postgraduates, there's not really any systems in place that really cover them and kind of relate to them. Because, pause only is up to age 25, and for some postgraduates we are over the age of 25, and PhD students as well, like you might not have access to that. And particularly in terms of masters, which is different from undergraduate, we do have external stakeholders if we have funding from the university or outside. So I think one way to kind of interact that is to have spaces where people can submit anonymously and to get advice, and then they can be directed to the specific service that they need, and that should make it easier for people to actually come forward. And in terms of the support for over 25s, the university does have access to like this kind of support, but it's not really publicized enough, and it's not really talked about as much. I think pause is the kind of big one that the university talks about. So I think an element of that is just letting students know all of their options available rather than choosing one and kind of promoting that one. So I think that would be the first things I'd look to doing when I kind of take on the role.
Lovely. And another thing you spoke about in your manifesto, similar is in the support for careers. And you said how careers advice is very general at the moment. And in changing this and sort of implementing this newer sort of support for careers advice, is this going to be something that you're going to liaise with the careers network, or is this going to be centralized within the guild?
Yeah, I think it's something that I would like to kind of liaise with the careers network for, because they do have a great system in place of contacting students about careers events, and they do run a lot of really useful kind of seminars and workshops. But like you said, they are very generalized, and I think there's a lot of additional things that postgraduates need, particularly on talking about the reason why they chose their postgraduate degree and kind of what sector they want to go into, or whether actually the postgraduate is just for enjoyment rather than a specific career path. So I think it's something that I would want to liaise with the careers network on, but also to promote it. Again, I think there is an issue with kind of promotion by the university, and I would want the guild to actually promote that a lot more, and talk about and actually let students know that these careers network events are going ahead. So I think, yeah, a bit of both, but I would want to liaise with the careers network.
Yeah, lovely. And a really unique idea that you touched on in your manifesto was sharing research ideas with other departments. This is something I've never heard of before, but I suppose, why is it so important for postgraduates to be able to share those kind of ideas and their work with others?
Well, I think a lot of postgraduates, a whole point of postgraduate degree is you are researching things on your own. You are becoming an expert in your particular area of study, whether that is in English or history or in science communities. You are becoming an expert. And I think it is really important, because when you do research and you have your research projects, I think it is really important to actually share your ideas and to engage with other students to make it more interdisciplinary, because no subject is a subject on its own. You know, we all kind of use different ideas from different departments. And I think it is really important for postgraduates, especially when they work so hard on their research, to be able to share it. And also, you know, postgraduates do actually kind of talk at conferences quite a lot. And I don't have any experience in sharing my research, and it is something that I would love to have more experience doing. And I think even having informal spaces to do that would be a real help to students. And I think it's something as well, like, it doesn't have to be just academic, it can also be a social opportunity to talk to each other, to get to know each other, and widen that kind of postgraduate community. So it's something I feel very passionate about.
Absolutely. I think that with the crossover of so many subjects, you can study English, but then you use history and drama.
Yeah, and a lot of different colleges, you don't only take subjects of your own course. You know, I'm a history student, but I'm taking an English module. Like, there is that kind of interdisciplinary nature of degrees, and I don't think that's really represented in terms of the events and activities that colleges and departments actually put on. And so I'd really like to kind of use that in relation to postgraduates.
Lovely. And my final question is asking about your Marvel theme that you used. What sparked this idea to just be a new Marvel character?
Yeah, I love Marvel. You know, you can't really see it, but my room is scattered with Marvel sort of memorabilia, and you know, a bit of alliteration with my last name. You know, I think that's always good. But I do love Marvel, and it was a great excuse to kind of run around and do some action shots in my campaign video. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed making that, I must admit.
Well, that sounds really good fun. And maybe if I ever make an election video, I will star as Harry Potter, which is one of my favorite things.
Like, so it's always good to do something you feel passionate about and can have fun with, because campaigning is very stressful, it's very hard, so it's always good to have an opportunity to have fun and kind of engage in the fun side of it, rather than focusing on all the hard bits.
Yes, exactly. I do love the themes that everyone comes up with. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you ever so much, Danielle, for giving me your time and for answering all those questions. I wish you all the best of luck for next year, and I hope you have all the best in the coming week.
Thank you for having me.